Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Life Conversations with a Twist. I say this every week that I'm really excited for my guest, but I really am. Galilee, I just met her, it was probably a couple months ago, I think,
Yeah,
by
I think so.
now. As many of you all know, I love to go to networking events, and I'm really good friends with Hillary Richards, who's actually connected me to a lot of my guests. And she had a networking event for entrepreneurs, and you were there, and you're in
Yes.
seventh grade.
Yep, I am with my mom.
So, seventh grade, that puts you 12, 13.
I just turned 13 on the 7th of this month.
Okay, for anyone who doesn't listen to my podcast, she's literally the same age as my daughter. And this is really cool to have this conversation with you. This networking event was all of we went around the room and we all kind of introduced what we do and what our stories are. And it was super cute. You were there with your mom, and your mom introduced you. It was very cute. But she literally listed 50 million things that you do. And you have your own business at 13 years old. And that's why I was like, you have to be on my podcast, because I want to know all the things. I want to know what inspires you. I have so many questions for you. So thank you for being here. I know this isn't a normal thing for you, but I promise I'll make it easy.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to be on the podcast and really excited. So.
I see really big things for you. So I'm excited to have you on here. And then in 10 years, when you're running the world, you can come back on and tell me where you're at.
I'll definitely keep that in mind. I'll definitely come back.
I love it. Okay, so you're 13 years old. Tell us a little bit about where you live and what school you go to and what grade you're in, and we'll start there.
Okay, I live in Santa Rosa. I go to Lincoln Valley Middle School. I'm in 7th grade, and I've been going back and forth with houses since I was about 2 years old.
And were you born and raised in Sonoma County?
Yes.
Okay, and you live with mom?
I live with mom and dad. I go back and forth. I have a 50-50 schedule. So.
Okay, so you are one of those blessed children to be in a family with divorce.
Yes.
My kids are too, so I can relate to that, which is actually even more inspiring, because as a mom, when you make that decision to not be with your significant other and have to break your children up, and you're always worried that they're going to suffer from it, or they're not going to get the best education, you're a walking proof that that is not true. So that's really cool.
It's hard at times, for sure. It's definitely not easy, but I just have I have my mom and my dad there for me, and my stepmom and stepdad and my whole family are just there for me the whole time. So I definitely got them by my side.
I love that. Do you have siblings too?
I have a stepbrother on my dad's side, and then I have my little sister, Jordan.
I love
She's
that.
4 years old.
And that's whose room you're in right now. At least I can see the back of you.
Yeah, we share a room, so got our name up there. I have another Disneyland board that has my name on it with a bunch of princesses on it. So
I love it. Okay, so your family obviously separated, but you're in middle school. Where did you go to elementary?
I went to Proctor Terrace Elementary.
Okay.
That school technically goes to Santa Rosa Middle School, but we moved with about 8 years. Then we moved here, and then also Lincoln is a better school and has better academics for me, and then also sports wise. So.
And what is the feeder school for that? Is that
what
would be your high school?
High school. Maria Korea.
That's what I thought. Okay, so you go to school, you're in middle school, you're in 7th grade, which means you still have one more school in middle school? One more year, yeah?
Yeah, one more year.
Tell us a little bit more about your sports life, because not only are you an entrepreneur and you go to school, but you do lots of sports. Talk to us a little bit about what you're doing now, and maybe a little bit about what you've done.
Okay, so now I play club volleyball. I've played 2 years, going into my 3rd season this year. And then I also played school volleyball for 2 years. And I also have tryouts this whole week for school volleyball and club volleyball. So that'll be a lot of fun. It's very competitive compared to elementary school, for sure. I played other sports. I played t-ball, baseball for a few years, and then I was going to go to softball, but then COVID hit, so that didn't happen. And then I tried soccer, and I started swimming when I was 6 months old, I think. and then tried like a bunch of different sports and never sticked with one until volleyball started at my school. So it kept going.
And volleyball is like that's your sport.
Yes, I definitely want to get a scholarship to college for volleyball.
I love that. And then you also said you did cross country.
I started cross country, did 2 weeks of that, but it was a lot on my ankle
Mm-hmm.
because after like 2 day tournaments for like club volleyball, it gets sore. So cross country right away after for not running for like a month was 20 plus miles a week, which is too much on my ankle. I'm still recovering from that. So I had to quit cross country to get my ankle better for volleyball because volleyball is like my main sport.
I love that. Have you always done sports? Like, is that like been your childhood?
My uncle coached me when I in t-ball or baseball, yeah, when I was younger. So, and like my whole family is like involved with like football and baseball. Not so much basketball, but we definitely do love watching our sports. We have fantasy football, so always been around sports for sure.
Are you currently doing fantasy football?
I'm not. My mom is though, and my stepdad. So that gets a little crazy sometimes, but it's a lot of fun to watch with family. It's a lot of fun for sure.
I'm doing it my first time this year too. It is fun. It's kind of overwhelming, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so you're also an entrepreneur. Tell us a little bit about your business, how you got started, how long you've been doing it.
So, me and my mom started Free Spirit Balloons about a year and a half ago. My little sister's first birthday, I have a cousin that she has her own business in like the Berkeley area. So she came down here to do her balloons for her birthday. I worked with her for a little bit, and I just fell in love with doing the balloon arches and all the different things she did and seeing the final products, and it looked amazing. And then like saw how happy my mom was when like she saw everything because she was so happy. Like it looks perfect for her birthday. And then I just picked it up from just working for her for like about an hour, and then we just kept doing little things here and there for family, and then it turned into having Westside Little League as one of our clients, and so much more, to like people we don't know, to family friends, to churches, schools. We have the Bennett Valley School District also. We're doing their balloon events when they need them, and then we also got our business card to go to Korea's leadership. So
Mm.
we don't know if we're going to get a job out of that. It could not. But also, our business logo, Free Spirit Balloons, is on the Korea cheerleading block. So, or like not baseball, football games, you can see it on there, which is really cool.
I love that. So is this like a long-term, like, is this a business that you can see like long-term going, or is it just like a fun project that you have now? Kind of like, what is your thoughts around that?
I think I want to keep going for sure, because I really enjoy it, and it's a good way for like me and my mom to have our time. As my mom would say it, she's my helper because but she definitely like it's really a mother daughter thing for sure. Um, it's just really fun, and then like family helps too, which is uh like to see their faces on like how did you do that again? It's really fun, and it's just a lot of fun.
It's been really cool to see all the different, like I know a few people who do balloon, installations and stuff, and like the creativity behind it and like the way balloons have like blown up is crazy.
Yeah, and people think, oh, that's easy. Like, why would you pay so much money for that? I'm like, you could start doing it and tell me your thoughts after that.
Seriously. Do you see yourself as an entrepreneur later in life?
Yeah, I do for sure because I definitely want to like get my business degree in college, but I want to keep going for this balloon business, and because it's just a lot of fun, and it's like something I enjoy. It's not like just a random hobby. Like we've done so many big events. Like we've done an event with like over 700 people there, which is really cool. And I see like all my friends are like teachers are like, oh, maybe one day you'll own your business and you're gonna have a job and do all this. And they're like, oh yeah, having a business would be really cool. And I'm like, I already have a business.
You're like,
Like,
I've already done that.
yeah, it is really cool. Like it's a lot of fun for sure.
I love that. We're like, okay, so you talked about going to college. Obviously, you are a very much overachiever. What are you? So you said you want to go to college for business degree. Like, Where do you have a path right now or something that you're kind of like have in mind, or are you open to seeing where the world goes?
So I want to travel like around the world. It's like my main thing. So I really want to get a scholarship to Stanford because they have the best volleyball team, best college volleyball team, and they're also geniuses. Like the volleyball players are so smart because they also go to Stanford, which have a really low acceptance rate. And I didn't really know what college I wanted to go to until I went to my first Stanford volleyball game and I saw the sports stuff. I'm like, I want to go here for college. Like, it's a really hard school to get into. It's an Ivy League, but it's also, dream big or dream big or go home, So,
Okay, speaking of that, I want to dive into this. I have a lot of questions around this. Okay, so I'm assuming you have a group of friends or you have your people that you hang out with. Is everyone in your group like as motivated and as like focused as you are, or do you see people kind of just like enjoying the middle school life and living that like social media life or things like that?
so some of my friends, I have like a lot of like different friends. Like some of them are the complete opposite. But the majority of my friends are like have their main sport and they want to go for it. They want to do it long term, and they are good about like their schoolwork, and they want to have good grades. And they're like they have phones, but it's not like their whole life. Like because they have sports, which is not on your or phone. It's like you're active and you want to keep going, and they are definitely motivated in the stuff they love.
I love that. So you're around like-minded people. It's not like you kind of having one vision and one focus, but your group of friends are kind of like in that same boat.
Yeah.
Do you think that sports helps keep kids your age like focused?
Yeah, I do think people should have a sport or something they love that's not social media or anything on their phone because, like, doing a sport teaches you discipline, and then also that's just a way, or I could practice volleyball or do anything to work out because that just clears my mind and not just like sitting on my bed watching TV all day. That's not going to do anything for you. Doing something outside of school that's active, I feel like will definitely help you in the future. Not just like having a sports career, but also knowing stuff is hard and you can't do everything right away. It's going to take time, take practice. Like when I first started volleyball, I underhand served, and now I can overhand serve and almost like jump serve. So it's definitely takes time. You can't just be good at something right away, which I think a lot of people that I know think you could be, oh, wait, that's super easy. Volleyball's super easy. Balloons are super easy. But until they do that stuff, they don't know how much hard work you actually put in it, which is, I think, really a really good like life lessons like in the future because we can have a job that we dream for, but if we don't do anything to actually get that job or like help us get that job, you're not. There's a pretty low chance you're not actually going to get your that job per se.
Okay, so not everyone your age has this mindset. Let me tell you, like even women my age don't have this mindset, right? Where does this come from? Like, is it someone in your family that has inspired you? Is there where do you think your mindset on like life has got, like, where does that come from?
I think I mainly got it from my mom because growing up, she's done so many different things. Like she was part of my elementary school PTA board, so she run all of it. I've watched her do it. I've helped her do it, and then also going back and forth with parents, made me want to do everything I could possibly can because it is harder to go back and forth, and like the schedule definitely also. So I just wanted to do everything to make sure I didn't miss out on anything, and also just like being out there and doing multiple things, and just seeing my mom doing everything was just such an inspiration to me. Seeing you can do a lot of stuff, like you can do everything. You should just put your mind to it.
I mean, that's honestly like people tell me all the time, like, how do you do so much and you work really hard and how do you manage it? And you have your podcast and you do women's retreats and all this. And like honestly, like, at the end of the day, like I just want my kids to look at me and think of me as an inspiration that they can do whatever the hell they want, right? Like
Mhm.
the sky's the limit. You really could do anything that you put your mind to. And, especially like I was saying, like being in a split family and, breaking your children up half time, like that's like the biggest thing I could take away from them is like motivating them to like live the life they love. So I love hearing that. It makes me feel a little bit better as a mom. But I love that your mom has been such an inspiration to you, because being a mom is hard, and you'll see that someday. And so it's really cool to see like that hard work come through on their children. Gets me a little emotional, so I'm really excited for that. How do you balance it all? Like, okay, so you go to school, like even us like scheduling this, you're like, can we do this on another day that's not on your schedule? I'm like, absolutely. How do you manage it all? You go to school, you play sports, you have a business. I would assume you want to see your friends, you want to spend time with your family. How do you do it all?
I honestly don't know how I do it all. It's really just with the support of my family. Like school, English has always been like my weak spot in school. So my mom has always helped me with my homework in English, and they've just always been there for me when I do, because there's days I do get stressed because I have so much stuff. But I also think about if I didn't do this stuff, because I've had days where I have nothing to do, or multiple days in a row, and I'm like, this is really boring. I need to do something. I need to get out there. Like, I need to work out. I need to do. I just don't like just being lazy for days and days to weeks to months in a row. It just not something that I like doing. I like to do stuff. Like I can't just sit down and not do anything, because like I have the business and I have like everything else, and it is definitely hard to balance. But I love it all, so I definitely find a way, and my mom knows I love it all, so she definitely helps me find that way to balance it all.
That's good. I mean, I'm assuming you take time to go like hang out with your friends too,
Oh,
right?
for sure. Yeah. After
Okay.
school, I could go to yoga time sometimes, and like Sandy's Pizza, what I did, like that. But it was just like right after school. So like worked out perfectly.
And you also, if I remember correctly, like play an instrument too, right?
I play the violin. This is my fourth year playing also.
Yeah, you forgot to mention that. I forgot. I
Mm.
remember when you were introducing yourself, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like this girl does so much."
Yeah, I kind of forgot about violin for a second. Um, violin. I picked up violin from elementary school because we had to pick an instrument to play, either like the what's it called, cello, violin, clarinet, trumpet, and choir, and some other like other instruments. I didn't like anything that has to do with like my mouth being on the instrument, because I got like really lightheaded just trying it out. I'm like, I'll pass on this. And then I just picked violin and I loved it. So I just kept going for 3 years. And in elementary school, my second year of playing, there was a lot of beginners in my class. So I had to like learn everything again. So I'm definitely down on the basics. But for this year, I'm definitely learning a lot more than I did, which I really love. And I have a really great teacher that is teaching me different things about my violin and showing me how to do it. She's like making sure we get the song right, and she's pregnant, so she's gonna be for a few months. But I really love her. She's definitely one of my favorite teachers.
Oh, I love that. Do you do anything like in your school as far as like, I mean, I don't know how you would do anything else, but I'm also not surprised if you told me you did like leadership or I don't even
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
I'm part of the our leadership, which is I thought we were gonna do a lot more. We do a lot, but when there's like no holidays coming up, it's pretty chill. So, but coming up to planning stuff definitely gets a little hectic. We have like a quarter project, so this year's first quarter project was a vision board and writing an essay on stuff you want to do. And I know a lot of stuff what I want to do in the future, but I don't have it like all planned out. So it was definitely a little hard for me to figure out what I want to do in the future, because these people in my class, like, they know they want to be like a lawyer, or they want to do this and do that. I'm like, I don't know what I want to do yet. I'm just doing all this stuff at once. I don't want to worry about the future yet. I already have so many amazing things that I'm doing now, and I know as far as high school and what high school I want to go to. So that's really just what I was focusing on, and I don't really do anything else because my electives are leadership and violin for school.
Oh, okay, I see. Well, I'm doing a vision board party in January if you would like to come. No
Okay.
pressure. Because I really believe in manifesting your goals and what you want to do. And I have my vision board that I do every year. And so I'm a big component of that. I think this year I want to bring my daughter. She's probably going to have no idea what to do, but I want to see her think that way, right?
Yeah.
Change the mindset. Um, Before we jumped on, I just briefly mentioned this, and I'm curious to kind of like hear your perspective. There's definitely a lot of talk within like my generation, which I'm actually considered a millennial, which I'm kind of like on the cusp, and I really don't know like the ticking order, what's underneath me. But I'm just general of like your generation. What do you think some of the challenges are for, kids your age? Let's go with girls your age.
Mm.
Um, and staying motivated and staying positive in this day and age that we have now, that we're in now.
So I definitely hear people saying like, "Oh, your generation has screens. Like, you're not as motivated as like we were when we were your age and stuff." And I just think that's untrue because I'm not on my phone all the time. Like, I have a flip phone, so I don't have. But I also have like my laptop, so I could like I do have times where I just lay in bed and do nothing. But I also needed a break from all the stuff I do. I think it just really figuring out if you want to do it and having the motivation to go for it.
Mhm.
And if you really want to go for it, you will do it. Even no matter like your age. Like also like for my generation, we have phones. So I think they're not worrying about what they want to do and more on their phones. But like with my friends, they know that like school is also really important and their sports is really important to them. So they know that if they want to go for it, they're gonna go for it. It's definitely depends on like also the people you hang out with, the people you're around, your family. Like if I didn't have my mom, who's like as motivate, such a motivation for me and as an inspiration for me, I don't know if I would be doing all of this. Also,
Hmm. Well, yeah, and it's like mimicking, like, I feel like kids see what their parents are doing, and I'm definitely like guilty of being on my phone too. Like, for me, it's like because I do so much and so for me, that's like a time for me to kind of like just kind of unwind almost, and like it actually kind of fuels some of my creativity. But I definitely think that like our kids see what our parents are doing and what others around them are doing, and so if as a parent we can kind of monitor that screen time a little bit and like motivate them to do other things, I think there could be a huge shift.
yeah, for sure. And then just just knowing you can do anything you put your mind to. Because I think a lot of people my age do forget that if you want to do something, you can do it. You just got to go for it. You got to have the motivation. You can't just be like, oh, maybe I'll do that. I don't know yet. But also at this age, there's a lot of like really successful volleyball players that they know from like my age or like a year younger or even older, they want to be an Olympic volleyball player. They want to be a college volleyball player, and they do get their goal. Like they do reach their goal. It's because they put their mind to it and they are motivated and they have the family and friends around them to support them to keep going.
Who's your role model?
My mom, for sure.
Besides mom,
Definitely.
I knew mom was going to be your number
Yeah.
one, but somebody maybe like a volleyball or someone in sports or a celebrity or somebody who is doing really cool things. Is there another?
I don't really. I do want to get into more like who plays volleyball. Um, I don't know so much about this one volleyball player, but I do know her. It's Cami. What is her name? She's a Stanford volleyball player. I think I have her right here. Cami Minor. She's a setter on the volleyball Stanford volleyball team. I don't know too much about her, but I just know she's such a great player, and she I could definitely tell she takes volleyball really seriously from the one game I went to. But I don't really like pay attention to a lot of like celebrities really
Hmm.
and like volleyball players. I do want to get more into volleyball players for sure and see like how, what did they do when they were younger and like how is their family situation, like did they have split houses, did they have one home, did they have siblings, like what else did they do to really have that one role model.
Hmm. I love that. I wrote down motivational speaker. Do you ever see yourself as a motivational speaker, or do you see yourself as someone that could inspire your generation?
I think I could be with my friends. like right now, I think I definitely motivate my friends to doing stuff they want to do, and then maybe in the future do inspire other people. Like my friends were thinking about like they were like, I don't know if I'm good enough for the volleyball team at practice yet or tryouts yesterday. Like she was like, I don't think I had enough practice in it. I didn't think I did this. I think I'm doing really bad. I'm like, you're doing amazing right now. You're better than a lot of the girls right here, right now. And some of them even played club, and she was amazing for a beginner. So I think also that the negative talk to yourself definitely unmotivates you. You just got to keep pushing yourself and think you are good enough. Like you are good enough to do whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
And in the future, if like people ask me for advice, I will definitely help them out. It's not something I'll like say, oh no, I don't have no advice for you. I definitely find a way to help the people who do need help.
Yeah. Oh, you're very inspiring, my little girl, my little friend. Like you, I just like can see you like sitting in front of a high school team and just like school and just preaching because I think there needs to be more girls like you and your age to help motivate that generation. Because I don't think there's enough of you out there. That's why when I met you, I was like, oh my God, you have to be on this podcast. Like, you're going to inspire like women who are my age that are going to be like, dang, that's good. Because even like, I know so many women in my age group, I'm 40, by the way, that don't have that motivation, right? Like they want to work out, but they don't know how, or they have goals, but they don't know how to like go and achieve them. And so it's really cool and inspiring to hear someone at 13 years old doing saying the things. So I'm really proud of you. It's really cool. Your mom did a very, very good job. You guys should probably come to one of my retreats. So maybe you'll motivate us to be a better mom. Your mom can motivate us to be a better mom. Um, is there anything else? I know what I wrote down. Speaking of that, because you've been preaching really well. And so I want you to do a little microphone drop. And for anyone listening to this podcast that might be your age, what is some advice that you have for them that maybe you wish you knew or you wish more people knew to have the same drive?
I just think, like I said before, just to go for your dreams and just know that there is a possibility you can reach it. Nothing is impossible. Everything is possible if you just put your mind to it and keep going. And just having the people around you support you, which definitely helped me. Because at like some points, I'm like, am I good enough for volleyball? Like, do I want to keep playing volleyball? And then my family is there to say, yes, just keep going and you will get better. So I just think and keep, even if you make a mistake, because we all make mistakes. There's not one thing that we will do without making a mistake. So I would just say keep going past the mistakes, learn from your mistakes, and reach your goal.
I love that. Is there anything that we didn't talk about or anything that you think others should hear about from you?
Um,
Your amazing wisdom.
I am part of a youth band at my church, if that is anything.
Oh, like how do you on earth do you have time for this? What instrument do you play there?
I don't play an instrument there. I'm one of the singers there. This is like a brand new band. We've done 2 performances, and we have a Yaya camp, youth and young adults camp that is on Thanksgiving break. So it's just really a bunch of youth and young adults that get together and just do a bunch of fun activities and like do hikes. So you learn discipline from those hikes and do like workouts. You wake up early, you go to bed late, you do night hikes, and then we just work 5 different songs. I think one of the nights, and yeah, just pretty new right now. And a lot of people saw us do it, and they want to be a part of it now. So which is really cool to see that the younger kids than me that are just a few years younger just saying like I want to do that, and it's just really cool that we can show kids that we could do anything we want to do. Like we could just put our minds to it and we will do it, because I didn't think I would be one of the singers in a band for sure. I like that's never come to my mind. I'm like, oh, I want to be a singer one day. No, I did not ever think of that because of my million other things. And then for about 2 years into this, and we're now right now we're finally getting into it and really focusing on making this band bigger. And we've also inspired other churches that they could do this too, which is a really good way to get the youth involved with the church. And we also have Wednesday night youth groups. So we just all come together, we have a lesson, we play games, we eat food, and just have worship, and it's just a lot of fun.
I think too, being around like-minded people is always like super helpful too. It's like you said, getting people in the room that like want to do these things, that want to stay active and like do good, like surrounding yourself with them, I think is always important, which I preach all the time in general. And then the other thing that like came to mind that I want to just say is that like sometimes you just have to try a lot of things. And I think you're young enough to like have the opportunity to just try things. Like you literally have tried everything, right? Because it's like, what do you enjoy? What do you not enjoy? And my kids are always like, I only want to play soccer and that's it. And I'm like, well, what if you tried something else and you actually liked it and you're really good at it and like it fueled your soul? And so I love that you just try new things to kind of like figure it out, figure
Yeah,
out what is good for you.
I think you should try a little bit of everything. See if you like it, see if you don't like it. And if you like it, if you want to stick with it, then go for it. When I was younger, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. So I just stopped with soccer and then did it like another sport. I did baseball and then to volleyball. And now I love volleyball and I found the sport I do love. And now I'm going for a college scholarship, hopefully one day within volleyball.
I love that. Well, my daughter tried out last year for volleyball, made it, but didn't like the team. So she's not playing volleyball right now. But I do have some other of her friends that are trying out. So we're from Windsor Middle. So hopefully we play you, and I'll definitely come out and support because I would love to see you play. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for inspiring the younger generation. I always get so worried about them, and it's always it just feels good to know that there are girls out there that are in the same mindset of like helping others and encouraging them and doing the things that you love and working hard for it. So I'm very excited that we met. I cannot wait to see where you come. Like seriously, you're gonna have to come back on my podcast when you're like running the world someday. So thank you for being here.
Of course, it was a lot of fun doing this for sure.